Next month, it'll have been 8 years I've been working with ayahuasca. And I had went to seminars, coaches, masterminds, all these different things. And I remember my first weekend. I made a documentary about ayahuasca. It impacted me so much. I remember standing shirtless. I had more hair then. And standing next to the shaman looking at like, what just happened? And that was the third week of August 2017. I turned 40 in, it's a week from today actually. And it was just making me reflect on, it caused me to reflect on the last 10 years of life. I've been in Colombia nearly a decade, coming up on 9 years. And I was just thinking of different ceremonies, life experiences, and Monday, I have an ayahuasca retreat for 5.5 days. 1 tobacco water purge. Drink 3 liters of tobacco water. It's about as fun as it sounds. Better than it used to be. They used to do it really intense. Now it's a little more gentle. 4 ayahuasca ceremonies, 2 in the night, 2 in the day. I prefer the night. A bunch of music at La Ceiba, my favorite spot, after drinking at, I don't know, I tried maybe a dozen places, mostly in Colombia, 1 in Brazil, and 1 Temazcal, which is like, if you're not familiar, it's like an indigenous, homemade, handmade sauna for a couple hours, and that's how we finish. And as I was reflecting on different times working with the medicine, here in Colombia, we call it jahe. There's one ceremony that stood out that I wanted to share on this video today. I remember I'm sitting there and it was kind of not super eventful. And I see this blanket and it had black threads and red threads. And it was showing me something that every thought, every intention, every meaning, every emotion is like a thread. Like someone quilting, getting sewn in. And I'm seeing mostly black, seeing red, thinking they represent something. And then I felt, and it showed me what most people, probably me back then as well, can all fall into this at times. It only showed me 2 emotions. It showed me love and it showed me fear. And if you think of emotions in a simple way, that can be a good way to look at it. People go, no, I don't get afraid. I just get angry. Especially as guys. It's like, well, that's a form of fear. Or it can be an illusion of control, because if I'm pissed, it's better than being sad or depressed. I have like intensity in my body. So I feel like I have energy. You do, but is it really the energy you want? And love, that could be fun, compassion, gratitude, but just that duality of these 2 emotions. So something has to fit on one of those 2 sides of the scale. And it's showing me the threads going in and out. And then I could feel that every thread, or virtually every thread, was fear. So I'm seeing this blanket. I don't know how big it was, maybe big enough to cover a person. I thought the colors meant something, didn't seem that they did. And then the blanket finishes and I see the blanket from further away, maybe 10 feet, maybe 2-3 meters away. And I look at it and I go, well, it is all black and it says in uppercase letters in red, love. And I don't remember the medicine explaining it past that. Maybe it did. It's been years. And the message was really loud and clear. How many times in life are we thinking, I hope this doesn't happen. Don't do that. What if it doesn't work out? But I gotta be this way. I'm walking on eggshells around my girlfriend, or I don't know, or my wife. I don't know if it's her or it's me, or I'm so scared. Am I creating the eggshells? Is she creating? Are we creating? Or what if I start this business? It's probably not gonna fail. It's not gonna work. You know what? You said you were gonna lose 10 pounds and You've done it before, but you've never maintained it. And it became really obvious of the meaning, and then the secondary meaning that followed up for me was how many things in life that we're thinking is love, or we're thinking what we want, and it's what we don't want. And I think back to a friend, and I was telling her not this story, but another story, a story about creating a relationship vision. Some people, they have 783 things of what they want in a relationship, probably not very practical. But if there was 10 things or 10 core values, 10 core qualities you wanted in the partner, it's important to know. If you want kids and you absolutely want kids, then that would be on the list. If you want to live in a certain country, if it's a certain spiritual belief, religion, it would be on the list. So I'm talking with my friend, I'll call her Lisa, her name's not Lisa. I'm talking with Lisa and I'm telling her this. And we're talking about relationship vision. She's like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna make my new list. I made one last year. And she goes, Phil, I'm finally ready. I'm finally ready. And I was like, for what? And she's really excited. Oh, let me back up a minute. So I told her, I said, Lisa, do you know what most people do when they make a relationship vision? Most people will say, especially women even more, I don't want this. I don't want someone who smokes. I don't want someone who drinks. I don't want someone who's violent. I don't want someone, who's not present. I don't want someone who has a gambling problem. I don't want someone who's bad with money. And she's like, oh my gosh, I get it. She's like, I want to make my new list. And she goes, I'm finally ready. I'm ready. I was like, for what? I'm ready to not be single. I'm ready to not be single. Now, we're not talking about not being single. We're talking about relationship visions. So she says this. She says it again. I keep asking, you ready to not be single? Like, huh? Yeah, I'm ready to not be single. All right. Go, do you notice anything weird about what you're saying? No, I'm ready. I'm ready to not be single. I'm going to make my new vision. Okay. And then it took her a couple times and she goes, oh my gosh, am I doing the same thing everyone else does? I'm not saying I'm ready to be in a healthy relationship. I'm saying I'm ready to not be single. If you were on an airplane and you're flying from New York to LA or whatever, and you're with your family, what feels better? What makes sense? I want to get to LA safely, or I don't want to crash. Seems pretty easy, but some people go, oh, I know, I read something on the news, I don't want to crash, I don't want to crash. And why I tell the relationship vision story and how that pertains to the ayahuasca. Where's your focus at? So many times in life we think we're saying what we want or who we're going to be or whatever it is. Something empowering, something that's building a new vision. And we're recycling our shit, our fears, our whatever from the past. We're in a relationship, we're married, we have a girlfriend for a while, and it's like, oh, I hope that thing doesn't happen again. When you're like, but I want the other thing to happen. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. And whatever you believe about energy or even just the mind, and that's putting out an attitude, a frequency, an energy of you getting what you don't want. And as a guy, we don't always know this, but women feel that. If you want sex, you're like, man, I hope it's not another night where I don't get laid. She can feel something, whether she's totally aware of it or not. And just go, I'm not in the mood again. So when you're thinking about life, about your relationship, about you're getting into one, you're in one, you're thinking of exiting. It's probably why I find this channel. Are you thinking about what you want or what you don't want? When we live identified with our mind, with our brain, it's a memory keeper of the past, and it's not generally what we want unless it's really well trained. It's focusing on what we don't want, what we're afraid, what we need to protect ourselves from. And here, and sometimes people go, well, I don't know if I can pick my thoughts. Is that really true? Whatever your name is, shout your name in your mind now with your mouth closed. So you're able to do that, I'm guessing. Even if you don't have a tongue, you can do it. And then if you do the opposite, like go and just whisper. Whisper your name in your mind. So we do have direction of our thoughts, of our intentions. But a lot of times, especially when we're stressed, it feels like our thoughts are thinking us. So that's what I wanted to share, the ayahuasca story. Great story, at least I thought it was. And a metaphor for life, a metaphor for moment by moment. And thank you, unconscious mind. That's the last thing I want to say. It's interesting when you think of how we raise children. If kids are involved in your life or you want them to be. It's don't do that. Don't get in trouble. Don't be bad. Don't get hurt. And we go, we have to protect them. But if we're constantly telling them what not to do, we're actually priming them for fear, priming them for be a bad boy, bad girl, priming them for unsafety, priming them to grab the candy. Rather than focusing on where we want to go, focusing where our relationship wants to go, where we want to take it, where we want to lead it, and focusing where our family wants to go. Thank you for tuning in. More ayahuasca coming up this week as I go into the first retreat in about a year.